What's up, curious youngsters? If we're always wasting time doing useless things or watching millions of videos ending up in such weird YouTube recommendations, why not better spend a few minutes on Mr. Curiosity, learning 30 totally epic facts that you're going to forget in about 10 minutes, but these are not just any facts. These are going to leave you totally amazed. For this and much more, these are 30 things you didn't know 5 minutes ago. 1. If you don't like the dark much, then you could never live in Barrow, a city in Alaska where the sun sets every November 18th and doesn't rise until January 23rd. In one of the darkest winters in the world, for 67 days, they won't see the sun. A perfect setting for a horror movie. But how scary. 2. Did you want to see something surprising? Well, this is the snow leopard, that's right. We all know that nature is amazing, but this animal is simply wonderful. And a quite alarming and curious fact that this animal leaves us is that there are only 4,000 leopards living in their natural habitat, which is the Tibet area in China. Superman will be slightly frightened. However, this isn't kryptonite or forsterite, a very, very interesting mineral that was discovered in 1824 in Italy by an English mineral collector named Adalarius Forster, and that's why it carries this name for. As we know, in the United States, everything is done as big and as exaggerated as possible. For instance, Halloween is one of the most profitable holidays. It is estimated that each year across the country, about $9 billion are spent on all kinds of products and activities related to this date. 5. A very, very dark fact, but one that is incredibly true. It's that the Chinese government forced the tallest female basketball player in the country to marry the tallest male player in an attempt to have a super tall child. And their son was Yao Ming, one of the tallest basketball players in history, who also played very well. 6. If you don't like snakes, you should know that the Mozambique spitting cobra can launch its venom up to a distance of 2.5 meters. This venom is typically aimed at the eyes, and it can not only cause temporary blindness, but it can also seep into the rest of the body. And the worst can happen. 7. We all love mysteries and weird things. Are you familiar with the Tunguska event? In 1908, in Siberia, there was a very powerful aerial explosion that wiped out trees hundreds of kilometers away. And the most curious thing of all is that it could never be explained. There are many theories, and most of them agree that it was probably a comet that exploded in the air, causing an explosion of such dimension. I think it was the aliens. Hey, curious? I don't know about you, but I love optical illusions. Did you know that the logo of the famous chocolate brand Toblerone has a bear hidden in the mountain? That is their little tribute to Bern, the Swiss city, also known for being the city of bears. Let's see if you knew that, friend 9. In terribly random country data, we find that Argentina exported 162 million sterile flies to Bolivia. To combat the fruit fly plague, since mating with wildflies would not produce offspring, and thus it is intended to protect the fruits. 10. In the horror movie Poltergeist, the protagonist Robbie almost died, strangled by the clown doll, and all because of a miscalculation. Director Spielberg ordered the filming to stop when he saw, along with the other set workers, that the boy's face had started to turn blue. That was close. Robbie 11. Thailand is a very interesting country that I would like to visit. And did you know it has this amazing place, which is part of the old city, also known as Myeongboren, which not only has a lot of super epic dragons, but it is also the largest open-air museum in the world. The venom of the banana spider, also known as the wandering spider, is among the most potent in the animal kingdom. Its bite can cause the death of an adult person between 2 to 6 hours later. In addition, its venom causes the contraction of many muscles, which must be extremely painful. But what a horror. 13. In rare human body conditions, heterochromia is going to appear, which is an anomaly of the eyes in which the iris, that is the colored part, is of a different color in each eye. 14. During a day in Argentina, Burger King stopped selling its typical burger so that McDonald's could have more sales, since the proceeds from that day's Big Mac were destined for children with medical treatments. 15. Are you sure you recognize this singer? Queen was the band, and he was Freddie Mercury. But perhaps only his biggest fans know that he was not born in England, but was born in Tanzania, was raised in India, and his real name was Farooq Bulsara. I also had this face. 16. It was always said that snails were slow, although a few years ago DreamWorks showed us in Turbo that snails were as fast as McQueen's ranch. In reality, the average speed of these poor little creatures is about 0.029 miles per hour. You're slow, Gary, 17. A very inspiring curiosity is that. Darad Manji, also known as the Mountain Man, was a worker from India who dug a road of over 100, 10 meters long, 9 meters wide, and almost 8 meters high, using only a hammer and chisel for over 20 years. In order to shorten a 70-kilometer path to just 1 kilometer from his community to a hospital 18. Lenny McGann is an American runner who turns his roots into works of art. Every time he trains on the streets of San Francisco, he uses an application that allows him to draw the route he took, thus turning his footsteps into an almost perfect figure. Johnny 19, a contemporary artist. A very, very interesting phrase that Albert Einstein said was, "A quiet and modest life brings more happiness than the pursuit of success, combined with constant unrest." But the curiosity is that this phrase, written on a piece of paper, was sold for $1.8 million 20. When we are thirsty, we often say, "I need water, that I'm dying." But in reality, your body is almost perfect. Since the sensation of thirst appears when the body loses an amount of water equal to 1% of body weight. A loss of 5% causes fainting, and more than 10% simply death. 21. Although many people may not know it, fruits and vegetables are part of a living being, and it would seem to carry its own intelligence. Okay, and what's so curious about that, Mr. Curiosity? Well, it's that when we cut an apple and see it oxidize and darken, really. It's a protective measure that the fruit has, as it delays any infection that could cause fungi. I bet you didn't know that, Timmy22. In Ideas to Save the Planet, we have to. Salwa from Brevity, a small brewery in Florida, had the great idea to turn their zigzag sorrow into food for marine animals, as it is a 100% biodegradable product that also feeds our little fish. The Torres del Paine National Park was voted the 5th most beautiful place worldwide, and it's easy to see why. In addition, the park was selected as the 8th wonder of the world. In 2013, after receiving over 5 million votes on a website, the number was 24. A very dark fact, but one we need to know, is that the decomposition of the human body begins about 4 minutes after death, with an internal process called autodigestion, when the bacteria and enzymes of our own body begin to devour it. Yeah, between the impacted owl, let's go 25. Although there are few people who have this ability, it's possible to have control over your dreams, a phenomenon called lucid dreaming, which happens when we are aware that we are dreaming and can control it. 26. Got free time and love? Extreme sports? Try extreme ironing. Yes, this is not a joke. There is an extreme sport where participants try to iron clothes while parachuting or while surfing in the sea. 27. Scorpion venom, the most expensive liquid globally, costs over $10 million per liter. Also, some may ask, why would anyone want to possess venom? Well, just like the rest of the venoms, they are used to create the antidotes that will save our lives. 28. Jim Cummings, Winnie the Pooh's original voice. For many years, he would call sick children in different hospitals and talk to them as if he were the honey-addicted character. How nice, 29. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you're going to go crazy with this curiosity. In Poland, there is a real Hogwarts school where for only $375 you can enroll in potion classes, a grand ball, house selection, interaction with magical creatures, and sorcery practices. 30. of the more than 7 billion people that we are in the whole world. 7 billion people that we are in the whole world. Some are extremely necessary. James Harrison, an Australian, donated blood 1,173 times, saving over 3 million babies. Since doctors had discovered that his blood contained some type of antibody, which was necessary to create medications. Before I go, let me greet some subscribers. First of all, I want to send a huge welcome greeting to Panda Huica, who just joined the channel. Another big greeting to Arvin Morales, who has been actively commenting on recent videos. Another quick hello to Miguel Universe, who subscribed recently and actively participates. Also, let me greet Shohan 93,927, who is new to the channel. Daniel Morales wanted another short greeting. Then I'll greet Walnut Train 39, who has commented frequently on recent videos. Lastly, I want to give a huge shout out to Will B. Coot, Kauai, whom I couldn't greet in earlier videos. Another greeting for Mac Andrade, and the last greeting goes to the crack of Mr. Zook, who wanted a super greeting. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share your thoughts in the comments, and share the video with your friends. So now, more kisses to Mr. Curiosity. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell so you don't miss any new video. I am Mr. Curiosity.